All right, so I had a completely different video planned for today, and if for some reason, whenever that happens, Nintendo said, "Nah, nigga, you gonna talk about me." All right, so I was gonna do a completely different video today, but Nintendo news waits for no man, so of course you got to jump on it when it's on it. So, um, we're gonna go through all the information that we have, but of course, before we go through this information, all right, I need to let you know today's sponsor, Salt, now in soul flavor. So when you want to protect yourself from unsubstantiated rumors from the bowels of the internet, but also want your food to taste like it was cooked by a black person, Salt, now with soul, protecting you from unsubstantiated rumors for generations. Get yourself a grain of salt today, so you won't be salty. That's right. Take it with a grain of salt because this might be fake. Okay, we got some mock-ups and we got some real physical, tangible items. It's a lot, so we just take it with a grain of salt. So we're gonna start off with Stealth. All right, so Stealth said the word on the street is many developers were invited to Nintendo of America yesterday. We don't know why, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was Switch 2 related. And then he also has a tweet of John Fairhurst, who was from Limited Run Games. He said, "We had an awesome visit to Nintendo of America today. I am grateful that we have such great partners at NOA, or Nintendo of America." So, now, Limited Run Games, to my knowledge, is not a developer. They are a publisher slash distributor. And so basically what they do is they distribute copies of old games. You know what I'm saying? So games that are out of print, and they would get deals to distribute copies of those games. So maybe Nintendo is looking to distribute some of their older games through LRG, which would be kind of interesting. But yeah, I wouldn't really call LRG a developer per se. But now there's another thing that happened last week, and this was when the Nintendo of America store in New York actually closed early. So they sent out a tweet saying we'll be closing at 7 p.m. today. I believe that was Friday. All right, and so I also did a report on the story that they were flying in people, you know what I'm saying, from Spain, content creators and influencers. They were flying people in, you know what I'm saying. So I already did the report on that. So yeah, it looks like things are happening. All right, so then the big leak dropped. So the Wario64 says rumor of leaked photos of the Nintendo Switch 2 design. While the images are unverified, one source who has not seen the final Switch 2 console but has been briefed on Nintendo's plans told VGC the Reddit images match what the company has told. So basically somebody that does have a source basically says that these mock-ups are true or close to what Nintendo is trying to do. So of course we're going to go over the mock-ups. So the first one basically looks like a bigger Switch. It looks like the Switch, but definitely longer, probably wider as well, or I guess taller, you should say. You know what I'm saying? But then, not long after that, actual hardware images popped up. This is the big one, right? So these hardware images popped up, and they look pretty close to what we got in the mock-up, because the big thing about the mock-up is everything looks very rounded, very beveled edges, and these are supposedly mock-ups from the Chinese manufacturing, and all of this stems from one Reddit post that I skipped because I thought it was dumb. That is, Switch successor is named Switch 2, which I thought this was kind of dumb because I was like, well, why would this be even a thing? Like, a lot of people thought it was going to be called Super Nintendo Switch. I was going for that name, Super Nintendo Switch, but I understand as far as, just basic marketing. Just wanted to keep the marketing kind of basic, which is fine. But this is according to information obtained from FamiBoard user Forward Backward. Take it and other information with a grain of salt. Also, production has started, meaning a reveal could be this week. That's what we're talking about now. This is brand new from the Chinese forum poster, who didn't have an insider track record. Therefore, the following is strictly for fun and giggles. That's a lie. The switch to production has started somewhere in China, which I don't want to translate. 1,000 units per day. Edit, this is one worker, not the whole line. Wait, 1,000 units per day for one bro, if you're making 1,000 switches a day, bro, you rolling. Slightly larger than Switch 1. Smaller bezel, black and white Joy-Con, slightly larger logo with the 2 on the side. So essentially, this is the post that started it all, and then after that, we got the hardware mock-up images. All right, and I have to say they look pretty good. All right, they don't necessarily look 3D printed, you know what I'm saying? But they do look pretty good though, because people have done that before. I remember back when the original Switch was coming out. And Etika got that like super good looking 3D printed Switch. Oh man, the Etika days were crazy, man. But yeah, this actually looks really good. So the specs for the system also have dropped. All right, so now these are also rumored specs. They might be wrong. I'm gonna go over some of the stuff from those. So coming from Kami, he says, rumored unconfirmed images have dropped. Alleged specs, handheld right above the PS4 before DLSS. So of course we've covered DLSS as well on the channel. Basically, DLSS is like some black magic that makes images look better than they actually do. Using like AI and like techno black magic essentially to make images look better. All right, so the system itself might be a little bit more powerful than a PlayStation 4, but DLSS will make it look like something on like an Xbox Series S. Docked, it will be between PS4 and Xbox Series S. PS4 Pro and Series S. RAM slower than the PS5 and the Xbox Series X in the speed department, but more capacity than the Xbox Series S. Should have 1.5 to 11 gigs of RAM available to games going by the Switch 1's RAM allotment for the OS. So storage is going to be UFS 3.1. Max speeds should be a hair under Xbox Series S. Series X. I hate those Xbox names, bro. Gosh, man. 2.1 gigs to versus the 2.4 gigs. Still plenty fast, if not maxed out. Lines up with the Digital Foundry and Nate Drake heard about the decompression techniques and fast load times of Breath of the Wild 1 tech demo. So this was the tech demo that was back at I believe this was at Gamescom last year, I believe, where there was a behind closed doors tech demo for Breath of the Wild that was running, a version of Breath of the Wild that was running on the Switch 2. There's also been rumor that there's going to be a remake of Breath of the Wild, for the Switch 2, which I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look at what Sony did. Look at how many times Sony has remade The Last of Us. Every system since the PS3 has a version of The Last of Us. Not only is the Switch 2 ARM-based rather than x86 like the systems compared, it's also NVIDIA versus AMD. There are plenty of factors at play to where it's not apples to apples comparison. Plus, the native Tensor cores on the Switch 2 will allow DLSS, letting the system punch above its weight. So that's what I'm saying. DLSS will make the system's images look better. So, like, you hear, oh, well, PS4 Pro, a little bit more powerful than the PS4, but it's not going to look like that, okay? And then some more down-to-earth specs we have from Zubitech. It says that the system on the chip is going to be an NVIDIA GML X30. Yep, 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabytes of internal storage, 2 cooling fans, and HDMI 2.0 out support. So, you know, it's looking pretty good. So this is what we know so far. All right, and I have to say it's looking pretty good. All right, I would not be surprised if we don't get an announcement very soon about an actual Switch event. Like, you know, probably the next 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? The first week of October seems pretty good. All right, you know, it might not be this month, but first week of October seems pretty good. Because the thing is, here's what they want to do, right? Because now, of course, announcing the Switch 2 now will hurt the Christmas season, but it will probably pop for, you know, pop a stock price because they know something is coming. All right, a lot of these video game announcements are about manipulating stock price. You know what I'm saying? Because people are a lot more confident in your company if you tell them something is coming than if you don't, you know? So it is what it is. I think next 3 weeks we're probably going to get an announcement of an event for the Switch 2. So that's what we have. This is an impromptu video, so I know it seems a little rambly, but it is what it is, man. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, people, I will see you tomorrow with what I had planned for today.